Death on the Nile has assembled another killer cast. That is the headline on today's MBE Movie News.
Yes, Stephen, this one is coming in from Cinema Blend, and as you rightly said in your little intro there, it is a killer cast that Kenneth Branagh has assembled once again for another Agatha Christie adaptation. This one being Death on the Nile, as you did say, Stephen. Now, we shall break down through this cast very, very briefly indeed. Well, not too brief, because we have to speak about it at length, or it'll be a very short show indeed.
Oh, we're not. But there's no point talking about it.
Yeah, there's no point talking about it. It was from Orient Express movie, strangely enough. Murder on the Orient Express is not Death on the Nile, but clearly they have not updated the Twitter username as of yet. But it's coming in October 2020, Stephen.
I think they lose a little blue tick if they do that.
Yeah, well, there you go. Just change your name then. Come on.
Create another account.
Yeah, create another account. It's a movie. Jesus Christ, it will get verified very quickly.
Yeah.
But look, Kenneth Branagh's at the top of the pile, Stephen. He will be starring in it again as Poirot, you would assume. And then you have the likes of Gal Gadot, Letitia Wright, Armie Hammer, Annette Bening, Ali Faisal, Sophie Okonedo, Tom Bateman. And then we really are beginning to scrape the bottom of the barrel when we get down the bottom. And you've got the likes of Emma Mackey, Dawn French, Jennifer Saunders, Russell Brand and Rose Leslie. I jest, of course, because Russell Brand, big fan of that guy, very funny chap, who is now became a very wise man indeed. He's pondering existential questions and offering advice on a wide array of subjects to people on YouTube. Very entertaining channel. I highly urge you to subscribe to it if you haven't already. And Rose Leslie came from Game of Thrones. She played, I can't recall the character's name, Ygritte, I want to say.
Yeah,
you know nothing, Jon Snow?
No. I think...
good cast.
Apart from Annette Bening on that bottom 2 tiers, John, French and Saunders, I know them as comedians, that's it. Russell Brand as well. A comedian.
Yeah, you're right. Take it back. It's about you argue, but no.
But
a comedian.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see that we're getting this follow-up. We did talk about this, I'm pretty sure, not long after the original film came out.
Yeah, I think it was green-lighted, yeah.
And I liked that film anyway. I think you did a review for it, John, if I'm not mistaken.
I did, yes.
Pretty sure you did.
I really enjoyed it.
Day. It was a good film. It had a better cast than this one, I've got to say, if I'm being honest, John. There's no, obviously, Michelle Pfeiffer in there. There's no Johnny Depp. There's no...
well, they don't want to be associated with Johnny Depp these days, Stephen. He's damaged goods.
Okay.
Good Lord. You know. He had the temerity to actually back himself up in a domestic abuse.
And Daisy Ridley as well.
Yes, no Daisy, you're right, Stephen, and no Judi Dench either.
No.
So,
I'm not saying bring those guys back, but, you know, that kind of calibre of acting, you know...
No, Stephen, it's a very different story though, obviously, so, and set in a completely different part of the world, so it'd be very strange to see the same players popping up, and also Johnny Depp's character bites the bullet, or the dust. He actually gets stabbed brutally in the first movie, so he can't be there unless he's in spirit form. But look, you look at that top pile, and it is quite an impressive list of actors and actresses, if you like, or as that little girl said in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just actors.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense. Gal Gadot, I'm going to contradict myself slightly here. She's not that accomplished an actress, Stephen. But what we found under Patty Jenkins in the Wonder Woman movies is that if she has the right direction, and certainly Kenneth Branagh has proven himself to be a very assured director over the years, that under the right guise and direction, she can be pretty good. You can tease a good performance out of her. Certainly when she's surrounded with better actors like the likes of Chris Pine and whatnot, and in this case, Letitia Wright and Armie Hammer, I think she'll be just fine, and she's got that star power coming from Wonder Woman to really get bums on seats, if you like, even if they are little perverted gits that are obsessed. But look, Letitia Wright, fantastic actor. Yeah. She is very much on the rise. She actually won, I think, the Rising Star Award at the BAFTAs earlier on this year. Brilliant actress, also plays Zuri in Black Panther's about to say Black Widow. And then Armie Hammer is a well-renowned actor. So you look through that list, Stephen. Tom Bateman, great actor. Yeah. Sophie Okonedo rings a bell. I know her face, but not from where. I don't know where she's from. But I'd maybe have to search it up. But look, I'm very excited for it.
Well, I'm happy.
I don't know the story.
I wouldn't go as far as saying excited, but I would say I'm happy because I do like a whodunit. And we seem to be getting them just now, obviously with the the first movie, and obviously the Rian Johnson's Knives Out. So it's good to see we're getting this as well.
We actually look at the original cast, and much like Murder on the Orient Express, very star-studded. There just seems to be something about these murder mystery
Maggie
movies.
Smith again.
Maggie Smith was in there, Stephen, way back. I think this was when she was but a young pup, a spring chicken. Betty Davis, Peter Ustinov, Mia Farrow, David Niven, Angela Lansbury from Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
So that's a really good cast. This one we're getting the new version, not so good. But look, I'm sure it'll be brought together wonderfully. As I did say previously, I don't know the story that well. Obviously it's a luxurious cruise on the Nile. Murder happens. Poirot, Farrow. Poirot just so happens to be there on the scene, and he deals with it in his usual assured manner. So look, it'll be great. We're seeing a renaissance for murder mystery movies.
Yep.
Knives Out, murder mystery, Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Although murder mystery, not on the same calibre as those two.
No, but same genre.
Same genre. We were talking about it at the time, Stephen, finally. It seemed to be a dying genre, but it's now been rejuvenated, so...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up for it. I can't wait. And we're going to move on that note, Stephen, because I have not much more to add to that one. To a very interesting topic indeed, coming from Empire, and this is all about, if I can speak correctly, I don't know what that was I said, Sam Mendes' war film 1917. It's confirmed that it will be one shot, Stephen, which is, quite frankly...
A bit like our shows, one shot.
Yeah, one shot. Yeah, one and done. Astonishing, Stephen, though. What do you make of this? One shot. It's obviously a World War One epic following one chap on a mission.
I think it's going to be an attempt by Mendes to try and attempt this, but there'll be cuts in there. There's no way you can do a whole film in one shot. No way you can do that.
No, but what they're saying is it'll be, if it's not one shot, then it'll at least be made to look like it's one shot.
I was just going to lead into, John, that we've got the technology now to make it appear like it's one shot. So
wish we had.
I can only freeze frame for so long, man. But I think it's a good idea. It's going to have a feel. It's going to feel like it's in real time, not like this show. It's going to feel like you're there. It's happening as we speak, and it's an interesting way to do it as well. Obviously, directors have attempted one-shot takes in segmented parts of films. Tarantino did it in Death Proof, the diner scene with the second lot of girls. I think it was maybe about 10-15 minutes long, and it was one camera and it was one take, and they managed it. When I read this article, I went, no chance that they're going to be able to do that. But once you do read it, John, you're right. It's going to appear as if it's all one take, so it's going to be happening, or look like it's happening in real time. I'm very interested because I did like the trailer. So this kind of direction, Mendes, fantastic director. So I'm looking forward to seeing the film even more now than I was before, because I'm interested in see how this is going to look.
Yeah, Stephen, he's got such a varied cinematography, has Mendes. It's just incredible, the genres he's touched upon. And now he did Jarhead, which was also another war movie, but he's now tackling World War One. And it's just a period which has not been tackled enough in film for me. We've obviously seen, we were speaking about it yesterday, Kingsman's going to be set there, The Kingsman I should say. We had that great documentary from Peter Jackson. It was Peter Jackson, wasn't it? They Shall Never Grow Old. That was not so much an actual movie though, it was an actual real-time documentary about the events.
I think that's the kind of style he's going for here, John. I think it's going to be, because of the theme of the film, I think you're going to feel like one of these soldiers in this situation. I think that's the point of what he's trying to achieve here.
And look, you're right, Stephen, and just the concept of the story itself, it gave me vibes of Saving Private Ryan when I watched the trailer. It's this George Mackay character who's going off, he's gave a mission, I think he has to go and retrieve or give information to somebody, or thousands of people will be slaughtered the very next day. So it's almost timed, and he has to go on a one-man mission with, I think, someone else, it's not one man, and try and deal with, find this person, this important person. So just that lends itself to a one-shot sort of a stylistic movie where you're following this one guy through these whole different landscapes and things he's going on, adventures he's going on. And just the fact we have got Roger Deakins in there as well, the great Roger Deakins. What a cinematographer that guy is. I think this will be a great challenge for him to try and work this in a way where if it's not one shot, then it looks like one continuous shot. You can't get a better guy than that in to tackle that sort of a technique because he's probably the best in the business, alongside the likes of Hoyt van Hoytema and whatnot. But the cast as well, Stephen, finally. I mean, you can't really speak at this movie and not talk about that cast. Colin Firth, Mark Strong, Andrew Scott, George Mackay's a great actor, as I said previously. Benedict Cumberbatch, even Dean Charles Chapman, great young actor, and Richard Madden, our very own. So, periods there for me, I love it. I'm very intrigued by it. The director's a great director. It's going to be great to see him tackle it. Deakins is an incredible cinematographer. And just the concept of this one shot, now that I know this, going in to watch it when it comes out, sadly next year, it's going to be intriguing to see how this plays out and if it is perceivable, whether it's one shot or not.
Well, I think it will be, John. I think they'll be able to pull that off because of where we are with technology and because of who is in charge of the cinematography. So I think it could work. It'll be interesting as well. It's something different. As you said, I don't think they make enough World War I movies anyway, so we're getting that time period that seems to be overlooked quite a bit, certainly from Hollywood. So it's going to be very interesting. As you said, great cast as well, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you know why it was overlooked by Hollywood, Stephen, because American forces were involved, but on a lesser scale than what was in World War II. And we tend to, I mean, it's only fair, and they're going to show it from their viewpoint. If it's not American-centric, then the audiences won't be as into it, and they'll not be as invested, and they'll not want to then show it to the audiences and make money out of it. So it's going to be more British-centric, I think. You see that with the cast. But look, Stephen, we will move on to the blog rundown section of the show because I've not got much more to add.
Yeah.
And what is up first in this week's blog rundown, Stephen?
Up first, John, it is a review coming in from the movie Couple. It's It Chapter 2, but I must stress, John, it's not the usual movie couple. It is Mr. Movie and Mr. Movie Jr.
Mr. Movie Jr.
Yes, son of. And this is directed by Andrew, I'm giving his Sunday name, Andy Muschietti, and stars the likes of Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy and Bill Hader. A whole host of stars in there, John, that we could go in. We've both seen the film, John.
Yes.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it was a good follow-up to the original film. Had all the same sort of feelings, creepiness, whatnot in it. But we're here to talk about the review itself from Mr. and Master Movie Couple.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't. But Stephen, look, you're right. I've actually seen it twice. The first time I watched it, I slightly whelmed. That's what I'll say. I wasn't underwhelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed with joy. Having seen it a second time, I could appreciate what was going on more within what Muschietti was trying to achieve, what Skarsgård was trying to achieve. And look, I tend to agree with most of what Jerry and his son are saying in the movie.
Yeah.
It was well crafted. It was ambitious in its scale, going for a 3-hour story, which may have put off a lot of audiences because, as we do know, even though it's a changing demographic and a changing sort of a time where people will happily go and watch an Endgame, go and watch a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and not be completely bored to tears, there's still a sizable proportion of people who go to the cinema who would like it to be 2 hours and out. So it was a risk. But look, having seen it twice, I think it's a risk it's paid off because there was so much to fit in there. And it felt, and as Jerry does allude to, and his son, they've both read the book. I actually haven't read the book. There was still sequences not in the actual movie which were in the book. But we will see that obviously in the future because Muschietti and Skarsgård have hinted that they are looking to do a extended 5-hour one shot, the first chapter, the second chapter, and additional footage in there. But look, I tend to agree, it was a fantastic performance from the cast in the main. Bill Skarsgård is just sublime as Pennywise. The guy just, I mean, I don't want to compare him to Tim Curry because it's like comparing.
No, I don't think
it's two different ways. It's a mini-series. This is a Hollywood blockbuster. But he's really made the role his own, Stephen. He's just incredible. It was an incredible performance, right down to the little squint. I thought that was unintentional.
I don't know if Jerry, if his son says it, he had a, he did a legendary.
Yeah, that was cool, yeah.
So it was good to tie that in. But yeah, John, it was a great summary of the movie and experience as well. Like you, John, I've not read the novel, so I can't really comment on parts of that were maybe left out. I know that movie couple's son, as he's called here, it'd have been good to know
Jerry
your name, the Jerry Jr. There is obviously Easter eggs in there for anyone that's obviously read the novel. Will get a lot of the references, but I thought it was a great summary of the film as well. Again, it's not my favourite genre. I say this every time we talk about films like this, John, but there's something about the character as well. Pennywise, that just intrigues you, even if you're not even remotely interested in horror films.
Yeah.
There's just something about them, you know. And when they announced they were going to do the chapter 2 as well, I was excited because I wanted to see more of the character. I just felt we didn't get enough of him in that first movie, but you had that whole range of child stars that were appearing in that first movie to sort of cover as well. So it was trying to find that balance. So it made sense that they were playing the long game as well, the director, that they were going to do chapter 2 anyway to fill that out. But coming in at 3 hours, it's a big ask for any genre, in particular horror film, to keep people's bums on the seats and keep them interested. But I felt they managed it because of the casting as well, John. Bill Hader, you're right.
Yeah.
A lot of his lines I missed the first time, and it was you that picked it out.
Yeah.
Listen to this line.
Yeah.
And he just knocked it out of the park
Things
every
like,
time.
like the little spider moment with the head.
Yeah.
And he says, oh, there you are. Just the delivery is there.
Exactly.
You can tell he's coming from that comedic setting, Stephen. Saturday Night Live, I think it is. I've seen a lot of these things in there. Very funny guy, but it's so much more than comedy in this. It's such a wide-ranging, nuanced performance he gives. And just alongside the likes of Chastain, she was just usually excellent consistently.
Yeah.
McAvoy, I just thought the way they blended the young cast with the older cast, it was very neat. Sometimes in one scene, they begin down into the little bunker and it just switches to the younger cast. And they're really good as well, the younger cast, as you know, Stephen, Sophia Lillis and whatnot. Mullet Boy's back, I call him.
Yeah,
I don't actually.
So.
Yeah, he's an absolute TIT in it.
Yeah, Jerry
King's
mentions
in it
as well that you could go and see this film itself if you've not seen the first one, and not James Wan.
James Wan.
Yeah,
great horror.
Yeah,
director and producer.
You could get away with watching this film and enjoying it to an extent, but I agree with Jerry. I think you have to see the first one to really appreciate chapter 2. I think it's a nice build up, and you get to that point in chapter 1 at the very end, just get into the second chapter where you wonder where Pennywise is, what his frame of mind is. Is he still got these kids in the back of his mind? We all know he has, and he's just waiting for that moment. But the older version of the characters as well, getting to see where they've been and where they've went in that time period as well, how their mindset is, in the present day as well. You see that the events of, is it 27 years?
27 years, yes.
Have affected them, and I think that's because of the older cast members as well, John. I think they performed brilliantly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that they were coming in fresh. You would have thought they were part of that first chapter.
Well, Stephen, Jerry touches upon it finally, and we'll throw a couple of things in, but finally he does touch upon it about the actual storytelling technique, where you've got these older characters coming back. They're still very damaged people, and they almost go on a journey individually throughout the movie and then come together and they try to learn from the imperfections and what's happened in their lives, try and sort themselves, repair themselves if you like, and then they can then go on as a wholesome and take on Pennywise at the end. And I just thought that was beautiful, the way it done that, and the manner of flashback sequences and whatnot. And again, it just allowed the audience to connect with these older characters. This is this character, this is that character. Because at the beginning it was jarring, I wasn't quite sure. McAvoy and obviously Chastain and obviously Aja and Mustafa aside, who was what? There was obviously the little fat kid in the first movie. He's not fat in this movie. I think it was Jay Ryan. Ben Hanscom, I think the character's name was. But Stephen, it was just that they also alludes to it as well. Before I was about to go off on a tangent again there, it also alludes to Pennywise being this strangely likeable character in points, and you shouldn't feel that, but he is. There's something about him. He's magnetic, and that's how he's allowed to almost charm young children and bring them in.
Exactly,
and also to their deaths. So that was intriguing. Again, that's down to the Skarsgård performance. But all in all, Stephen, I thought it was just a masterful sort of a movie, the way that Muschietti brought it all together, and it was a real fitting end and a real fitting adaptation for Stephen King, who actually appears in the movie as well, incidentally.
Yeah.
But look, all in all, I enjoyed it. I thought it was two great stories. I would like to see a third chapter, perhaps a prequel story with seeing Muschietti and Skarsgård saying they were up for it. I'd be up for it as well.
Seems like they've taken the idea of what Kingsmen are doing. They've went as far as they can. Going forward it makes sense to go back to it. Well, they have to anyway, obviously, with the events of Chapter 2. But it'd be a wasted opportunity, especially if you've got the actor that plays Pennywise wanting to play him again, and the audience want to see more of the character, and the director on board as well. So it makes sense that there is room for more stories there, John. But we'll move on to our next our next review, I should say, coming in from DM Anderson. It's Anna from 2019. This is a Blu-ray review from Dave, and this was directed by Luc Besson, and stars Sasha Luss, Helen Mirren, and Luke Evans. Yes,
Stephen, Dave does allude in his review to this being very much a Luc Besson comfort zone, if you'd like. The man has been in and around these sort of genres for years upon years. He was also involved with The Fifth Element, Lucy, and Valerian, I think, City of 1,000. I can't recall the actual title, but it was a really cool little movie. I really enjoyed that, underrated. And he's done Anna this year, Stephen. I actually haven't seen the movie. It's going to be difficult for me to speak about the movie in terms of artistic merit. We did react to the trailer.
Yes.
Dave does confirm that sequence in the restaurant where she is obviously assigned to go and take out a guy and ends up having to fight dozens of his henchmen is the standout sequence in the movie, and I got that from the trailer. It was so cool, the cinematography so slick. It was almost one shot. We were speaking about one shot in 1917. That looked one shot. The way she was killing people with plates and crockery and whatnot. Very, very cool. I don't know much about it other than that, Stephen. I know Helen Mirren was playing a sort of a KGB figure who was
Olga.
Obviously, she was also like the one that assigned the go-between, if you like, the enabler for the Sasha Luss character. And Dave does say in this that Sasha Luss is kind of just like almost like set dressing. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but she's like a pretty face who carries the story, but doesn't do much else.
John, there was a film in the early 90s, I think it might have been, it was one of the Fondas, Bridget Fonda, I thought, I can't remember what one it was, but there was a film very similar. I think it was called Assassin. I can't remember if it was called that in anywhere else other than the UK. But it was very much in the same sort of vein as this movie. And that was the vibes I got when we did the trailer reaction from it as well. Luc Besson, you're right, John. This guy did Lucy as well, as I recall. And I think he was involved in Taken. I don't know if he was the writer or if he was the cinematographer. I can't remember, but it's got his fingerprints all over it, John. Nikita is mentioned there as well from Dave. So Besson's one of these guys that he's good at what he does, but he doesn't really move outside his comfort zone. But that's not a bad thing. If you're good at doing something, keep doing it.
Well, funnily enough, Stephen, I'm looking at his filmography right now, and he actually directed Kursk, which we spoke about previously. Which I actually enjoyed. It was actually a really cool little movie, that, with Colin Firth. And I think it was a guy at the Ukrainian style name. He led the movie. That was a slightly different take. That wasn't as action heavy. It was more character driven about the obviously peril of these guys. It was a biopic story about this Russian submarine, obviously being involved in a tragic accident. That was very cool. This seems very different. It seems action heavy. Cillian Murphy's in there. When that guy's in the movie, I tend to watch it because he's such a good actor who pops up in a wide array of different roles.
I'm just looking at the poster here, John. A very cool poster. But it is. In theatres June 21st now. I don't think this was in the theatres over here in the UK that long. No. Because I remember the trailer came out just at the start of the summer, I'm sure, over here. And we really liked what we saw. That scene you're talking about, John, in the restaurant. And it was a film that I did want to see. For some reason or not, I can't remember it being in the cinema that long. Because
it certainly wasn't in the top 10 very long.
No, it certainly wasn't.
Which is strange.
But then again, John, I think it's one of those type of films that you've got to really be into, I think as well the marketing over here was probably not that great, to be honest.
We've had a lot of movies like that, Stephen, in recent years. We obviously both went and seen Cold Pursuit, which was obviously starring Liam Neeson. There's been a lot of movies like that, Peppermint, quite a few, so you start kind of a crowding out.
Jennifer Lawrence one as well, the
Red Sparrow.
Was
it Red Sparrow? I think it was.
So there is a lot of these kind of espionage type movies, revenge films as well, over the last few years. Death Wish as well. Death Wish as well. So Death Proof again. So it's a film I still want to see, and the fact that it is in Blu-ray now, I think it's one of those ones that it'll be available on download as well. So I certainly want to catch it because I do like Luc Besson films. So it's my type of film.
The final thing I'll add, Dave does allude to it. it's just a continuation of these female-heavy, female-led movies.
Yeah.
We've seen Jennifer Garner in Peppermint, as we did say. I think it was Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde as well. Wasn't an amazing movie. I think that was same chap who did the first John Wick movie, if I'm not wrong. Can't recall his name off the top of my head just now, which is shocking. But yeah, it's just a continuation of that. We're seeing that more and more, so that's cool. We're getting to see more female-led movies, which perhaps do different things with what you'd have preconceived notions of what a female character could be in a movie. They're shaking it up and doing different things, so that's only a positive in modern day Hollywood. But look, Stephen, we shall move on to the next and the last movie on that note, which is, of course, I'll let you
Yes, it's Ad Astra, John. This is a movie review coming in from Justin Aylward. This film was directed by James Gray, also written by James Gray and Ethan Gross, and stars Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones and Ruth Negga. Now, before I let you in, John, there's something that I picked up on Justin's review, which I've not seen the film, so relying on you heavily here to narrate us through the version of events.
Which is ironic.
Do they match up to Justin's perception of the film as well? But one thing I did pick up on that I wasn't aware of was that this film was delayed by a few months, leading to rumours of studio meddling. I didn't know anything about this, but what Justin does say in the film is that possibly that this added to more narration from the Brad Pitt character to explain a lot of the narration in the film that wasn't there on probably one of the first sort of viewings that the studio viewed this film on and weren't happy about. Is this did you detect any of that at all?
I don't know, Stephen. I can't lie. But having watched interviews with James Gray and Brad Pitt, I think there was one in particular where they were sat next to two NASA specialists. I didn't get that sense at all that this was something they'd put in after the effect. He seemed to be quite confident that this was something that was aligning with his vision for the movie from the very beginning. Because it was obviously, I know you've not seen it, but the narration takes place via a series of psych evaluation tests. They continually check up on how he's doing psychologically, making sure his heart rate's not going too high, that he's not becoming too stressed out or over emotional. Because the general idea of the story, Stephen, is that he is an astronaut, very cool, calm and collected. Heart rate never really rises above 80 beats per minute. He's very assured in his job. Then he's sent off on a mission to make contact with his presumed to be dead father, Clifford McBride. He's Roy McBride, incidentally, played by Tommy Lee Jones. There's a series of powerful antimatter surges coming towards Earth, and it's threatening the lives of civilization on Earth and Mars and the Moon, potentially. So he's sent off to try and make contact, perhaps find out where his father is, if he is indeed alive and it's him that's doing it, and then perhaps put a halt to it. So with the close connection, him having not been aware that his father could have been alive, 9 years have passed, they're always concerned about his psychological state and whether he's going over the edge and becoming too closely connected to it. So they do a series of evaluations throughout, and that's where the narration seems to take place in the main. I like the narration, I have to say.
Justin seems to suggest as well that Pitt seems to have a hard time, John, with a lot of the narration as well, that sometimes, he wasn't being, giving the dog a bone from the director, for some scenes, any kind of emotion or situation to play off of.
I think it would have been very difficult for Brad Pitt, Stephen. That's what I think makes his performance all the more remarkable in this movie. The fact that it's very restrained, dialed down, very quiet performance, because he's playing this astronaut figure who's emotionless. He's kind of a disconnected. That was, for me, when I watched it, I can understand people. This is very much a Marmite movie. Some people hate it, some people have loved it. I'm very much
is he isolated, John? So
absolutely.
It's very hard for an actor if he's nothing to play off of. And the only instance I can give is Tom Hanks in Castaway, where he had to use...
He's not as isolated as that, I have to say, but for the second half of the movie, very isolated. He's going off to Neptune to make contact with his father. There's brief interactions, but Justin's right. The characters come and go in the movie. It's very much about Brad Pitt's Roy McBride and this journey of finding out who his father is, where his father is, finding out who he is as a person. He says at one point, I'm unable to connect to people in my life. He's essentially been damaged by his father going away. This notion of him being a heroic figure, and then he finds out he's alive. He's trying to find out, ascertain whether he's the same as his father or not. Justin says that as well in the review. It's a tried and tested sort of a story where the main character tries to go down the path of whether he's going to be a exact same person, a flawed figure like his father, and then also he finds out one way or the other whether that's true or not. At the end, we see him going on and making a very different decision from his father. The ending, I can understand people perhaps hating on it. I'm trying not to give away spoilers if you've not seen it. It's very difficult to speak about it, but it can be a polarising ending because we do go on a billions upon billions of miles of a journey, and then it could be perceived to be slightly lacklustre, but for me, I enjoyed it tremendously. I thought it was a very character-driven story. I thought Brad Pitt was absolutely incredible in it. It's probably his best acting performance for me to date. He thoroughly deserves a nomination, if not an Oscar win. But there's so many other performances I've yet to see. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, perhaps a Pesci or a De Niro or an Al Pacino in The Irishman, so I can't say for certain. We obviously get DiCaprio as well as Rick Dalton.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say for certain, but it was such a great performance. But that ending, Stephen, I liked it. I liked the concept of him going on this journey, trying to find himself. Is he the same as his father, this forward figure, and able to connect? And the way it does, it shakes things up with this existential, is there extraterrestrial life out there? His father chooses one path after discovering the answer to that question. Roy McBride chooses a very different path. He chooses the path of hope and getting back and making connections with, and just appreciating life for what it is.
It sounds to me, John, that you need an actor of Brad Pitt's calibre to really pull this movie off, because it does seem like a big ask.
And Donald Sutherland was in it, and he doesn't even get listed in the Google cast thing, but he's definitely in the movie, very briefly. But again, there's so many great, I've seen criticisms as well about the underutilisation of female characters. Liv Tyler, underutilised. There was another female character on Mars. They say she had a bear.
Justin does say if you blink you'll miss Liv Tyler, so
but
I'm very surprised at that.
But Brad Pitt says, Stephen, he was asked about it again, because we've seen it with Margot Robbie as well in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he correctly says Liv Tyler represents what he's lost in his life. The female character on Mars represents that character that gives him the push on to the end sequence, and then that's it. He then discovers what he has to discover. He goes on this journey, finds himself, and is reborn and comes back and regains what he's lost. So they're just playing sort of visual figures in this greater story, and it's all about Roy McBride and Clifford McBride in this existential journey. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was incredible. But some people hate it.
Yeah, well,
and it's all subjective.
I'm going to go and see it, John, because I'm intrigued, and I did like the trailers, to be fair, but I have heard that it's a bit of a Marmite movie. But listen, that just brings us to the end of Thursday's edition of MB Movie News / the blog rundown. I'd just like to thank you once again for joining us, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Force Friday show.